To get a fresh start in yoga, I like opening the front body, getting more length and back bending through the front body and the side body. Sometimes we overlook these side to side movements, but they're so important to get the length that we need to feel like we've got this spaciousness. And when you look for a fresh start, when you take on new things, you have to disrupt the old, throw away the old, and create something new. In this practice, we'll be stretching the side body and lengthening the front body. And you may want to use some blocks and a folding chair if you've got one. If you don't, we can improvise. We'll begin lying down using 2 blocks. Place 1 block parallel to the front edge of the mat. Use the second block as your pillow and place it in its tall height. You may want to watch in order to get the right position for your block. We'll lie down. Place the block about 2/3 the way down the shoulder blades. So it's just touching the very back side of the shoulder, and get a nice opening to the chest here. Now, if you're too high on the block, you can't find that way to open up this area that tends to get very kyphotic, very, very rounded. If you get too low, it tends to affect the movement of the diaphragm, right? The ribs stick out so fully. So you want to find that place right in the middle. And as you find that place, extend your legs out. You may even want to do this by the wall so you can press your feet into the wall. If not, as you extend your feet out and press the backs of the thighs down, get this nice opening of the upper chest. Since the activities that we do involve so much rounding of the upper back, this may feel slightly unusual for you, slightly uncomfortable. So you may want to shift position so that you can hold this for several breaths. You breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. If this leg position is not comfortable for you, you may want to bend your knees with your feet together. Press your feet very firmly, the bottom of the feet firmly in toward each other as the knees go wide apart in the supine Baddha Konasana form. Place your hands right at your elbows now to create an elbow frame. Hold on to your elbows, reach your arms up and over your head. Now notice the length that you get on the side body. See if you can pull your elbows away from your armpits to get even more length. Now release your hands, take your elbow frame down. Now whatever arm was at the back, have that arm in the front as you create an elbow frame again. You're holding onto your elbows. You're pulling your elbows away from your armpit as you take your arms up and over your head. And now with this full extension, pull the elbows even more so you feel this nice length. Breathe in and breathe out long. When you get a fresh start, oftentimes you have to do things to create the space for something new. That could be a space in your day. That could be, as we're doing now, getting the spaciousness in your physical practice. Release your hands down. Now press your forearms to the mat, your elbows to the mat, to lift yourself up. You may wish to take your block down. Now, if this is not comfortable for you, you have to customize it for yourself. Some of us can take it all the way down to the low level, or maybe even use no blocks at all. Let's come to that same pose we were in. First, find the block. Draw the bottom of the shoulder blades onto the block. Find that perfect spot for yourself. Take your head back and adjust the block so it feels like you can stay here for several repetitions of the elbow frame movement. Extend your legs out first, and same thing, as if you're pressing into the wall. Just get the legs very active. Feel the length that you get in this action. Back bending poses and side bending poses are such a fabulous way to energize you, to create more vitality, to feel like this is a new beginning, a fresh start. I especially like to do these passive back bending poses in the midday, because that's when you might feel a little bit sluggish and feeling like you need a little kickstart to finish the rest of your day. Now bend your knees if you like, or keep the legs straight. With your feet together, take your knees wide apart. Press your feet firmly. Take hold of your elbows, and as you pull your elbows away from your armpits, reach your elbow frame over your head. Enjoy fullness to the breath as you keep on reaching the elbows away. Inhale, lift your elbow frame up. Now change the elbow frame so that the outer arm is now the inner arm. You're still holding the elbows. Take the arms up and over your head. Pull the elbows away from the armpit. And just notice how you feel those muscles between your ribs, called the intercostal muscles. They help you expand so fully. They might feel a little crusty, like you haven't stretched these for a while. So feel free to stay for as long as you can manage. Inhale, lift your elbow frame up and take your forearms down to the mat with your feet planted now. Press your elbows down. Press your elbows down to support your spine as you lift up out of the pose. Now take your blocks away. Come to Supta Baddha Konasana with your feet together, your arms to your side, and just notice the difference. The yoga practice, this is such an important piece of the practice. Just noticing how things shift. Enjoy your breath in this pose. Find fullness in the breath. The breath is such a critical piece to fresh starts because it brings you into the awareness. You have a much keener perspective. You're brighter. You feel more enthusiastic with fullness to the breath. Now, keeping that fullness, let's roll over to the belly. On the belly, bend your knees. With your feet now facing the sky, reach your hands back. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, draw down. As if your inner knees are hugging a block. Squeeze into the imaginary block before lifting up and drawing down. Again, inhale, squeeze into the block to get that engagement of the legs. And exhale, lower down. Come to all fours position. Hold on to the top of the mat and come pretty close to the outer edges of the top of the mat. With your hands in a fist, stretch the mat as if you're trying to reach it way forward. Tuck your toes under. Draw your pelvis back. Keep your armpits lifted. Slowly lift your knees up. But as you lift your knees up, have the knees bent. Lift your sit bones up so you get a nice lumbar curve. Keep pulling the mat so you're drawing the hands away from the feet. Keep that as you start to straighten your legs. Now, one of the things that you often see is that as the leg straightens, you come more to a plank position. Instead, from the bent knee position, from the heels lifting high, from the armpits lifting, you reach the inner thighs back and apart. You lift the sit bones high to come to Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Now release your knees back to the mat. Free your hands. If that became a little challenging for your hands, just move the fingers a little bit. Let's try that one more time, one more cycle. Hold onto the mat with a nice grip. Push the mat forward. Keep the elbows and armpits lifted. Tuck your toes under. Inhale, lift your knees up. Lift your sit bones high. Release your head. Now start to come towards straight legs as you keep the armpits lifted. And now release your knees down to the mat. So we lengthen through the side body. We lengthen through the front side of the body in a passive pose. Now let's see if we can combine those actions. If you've got a chair, grab it. This folding chair has got 2 blankets on it. I've got a really long thoracic spine, and to make this work for me, I like a lot of support in the area of the neck. And so I put 2 blankets on the back of the chair. Depending on your height, you can stack the blankets or just have a towel over the back edge of the chair. I like something at the back edge of the chair because it makes for a nice cushion for the back of your neck. Grab one block. Place the one block right between your feet. Squeeze the block. Now come to Virasana, still squeezing the block. Now if you need a little bit more height, then grab a second block. As you squeeze the block through the inner ankles, see if you can get all the toes to press down very firmly. That engages the legs so nicely. Lift yourself up to come to a kneeling position. And for some of us, kneeling with a little padding really helps. So let's add a little padding should you need it. As you come to the kneeling position, pull the feet in toward the block. You get rooted from the pelvis down to the knees. Now expand from the pelvis to the heart. Take your hands back to find your chair. Once you've found the chair, you can rest the neck very nicely on the chair. You can even lift up the feet of the chair so that you get this nice, comfortable action where you hold the pose. And rather than that Ustrasana or the Camel pose where you feel like you can't breathe anymore, you've got this nice opening, and it's opening the pectoralis major and minor. It's helping to lengthen the front side of the body. To come out of the pose, take the chair feet down, lift up, lead with the heart forward to come out of the pose and sit down. Come to Virasana again. Just pause here. We'll do that one more time to just refine the actions. You may want to adjust your chair seat if you like. Keep squeezing the block. Keep your toes down. Lift yourself up. Take your hands back to find your chair. Lift your heart. Take the heads of the arm bones back, the top of the throat back. Find a comfortable position for your head with your hands on the chair legs. Pull up from the chair legs to your heart. Open your heart fully. Now slowly release your chair legs down and release the pelvis to your block. Now let's do a twist. Now that we've got so much length to the front body and the side body, let's come to a seated twist. Bharadvadrasana. Bharadvadrasana allows you to get a nice twist and to use the advantages that we've gained from lengthening the front body, lengthening the side body. So take your feet over to the right side and stack your right foot just into the arch of the left foot. And as you do, notice how this right hip is lifted relative to the left. So you feel really awkward. If you feel so awkward, so out of balance, then just put something under your left cheek, and that will make your hips a little bit more balanced. Use your hands now to create a little bit more balance for yourself. Take your right hand to your left knee, and as if you're trying to grow the left thigh bone from your pelvis to your knee, reach the knee forward into the palm of the hand, but pull the palm of the hand back toward the hip so that you can get a nice twisting action. The leg stays active, the heart stays lifted, open the chest really nicely. Keep the leg active. Keep your left hand working. And the more you work the hand and kind of push the hand away from the body, the more you notice that your left hip draws toward the mat. Release out of the pose. Now let's shift sides. So come to kneeling position and swing your feet to the opposite side so that the right arch cradles the top shin. And just notice how twists enable you to just really explore the differences one side compared to the other. We've done all the preparation to lengthen the side body, to lengthen the front body. As you twist and place your left hand to the right kneecap and push the right kneecap into the hand with the right hand pressing down, it serves to get the left sit bone to root down as you open the chest, turning the chest toward the side with this nice openness in the pose. Keep that and breathe in, breathe out long. Now come out of the twist. Use your block or blocks, plural, to stack the blocks right under your pelvis. I'm going to use 2 blocks. With the knees bent, you lie down. You scoot the blocks right underneath your pelvis. And just let the pelvis rest on the blocks. So we were in this form on our belly. We were in this form with the chair behind us. And now we're in a similar form, lying on our back, a supported Setubhanda Sarvangasana. When you are looking for a fresh start, you have new projects, new areas to explore. Yoga poses such as back bends and side bends really serve to create that feeling of freshness. Come to your breath to find more fullness. Keep that opening, that Setubhanda Sarvangasana, or the supported bridge pose, gives you. Stay in the pose, or if you choose to come down out of the pose, to explore Savasana by reaching your feet forward, letting your arms just feel the support of the earth with the palms facing up. Close your eyes. Draw your awareness to your breath. We start anew when we commit to new actions, new projects. It requires us to say goodbye to some commitments that we've made, to start fresh again. Savasana is a wonderful time to allow yourself to find this felt sense of renewal, rejuvenation, a letting go. So after you've assimilated the actions, the poses that we've completed, you rest in that knowledge that you gained. You surrender to the ease as your arms feel heavy, your legs feel heavy, your breath is full. You breathe in through the nose, out through the nose. Breathe in deep and out long. Enjoy the ease in Savasana. Trust your breath to maintain that length to the side body, that fullness to the front body. And enjoy this time to revitalize, to give yourself that fresh start that Savasana gives you. Namaste.